They will be at the Anthem tonight with Bishop Briggs. Nosebleeds, their latest is out now. Please welcome MisterWives. You know, I was all excited to hear we had a night off. The tour just got going. We had a night off. Everybody's in bed by 8:30. How effing lame.
Yes.
The worst. How's the tour going, though?
Oh,
I mean, 3 days in, it sounds like you're goddamn exhausted. If you had to go to bed so early last night.
Oh, no, we did not go to bed early last night. I went to bed at 3:30, I think. 3:30 a.m.
Who was 8:30?
I was in.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You started your Exorcist movie.
Yeah, I said, this is great, and then fell right asleep.
Really lulls you to sleep.
Yeah.
But, the tour has been a dream. Only 3 days in, and it's already been just, surpassed our wildest dreams of what it could be.
In what way?
In the show itself, I
Right.
think we've worked the hardest we've ever worked on a show.
Yes.
Our crew has just absolutely blown us away
Slaying
with what
it.
kind of show we're putting on for these size rooms. And then also we're touring with Bishop Briggs, who's a legend, and that is just so amazing to tour with someone you've looked up to for years. So.
Right. Are you, but you're there's a lot of friendliness between MisterWives and Bishop Briggs,
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course.
A ton of it. Was that, did people behind the scenes put that together, or do you guys put that together?
We put it together.
Thank you. Thank you, Etienne. Take credit.
We routed
Yeah.
it.
Because
It was actually my idea to our booking agent to tour with her. So.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, go you.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that,
Thank you.
Etienne,
Yes.
please.
You moron.
Routing counts for something.
Did you, but now go back to routing. Did you choose to start in Nashville, or does that just get done for you?
A little of both. I think it's usually just the best spot because there's an amazing rehearsal facility there called
Right.
Soundcheck. And it's got all the facilities. It's got equipment. You can get stuff you need right before tour.
Yeah.
And Nashville's just also a perfect city to start a tour in.
Right.
So it just kind of works out that way.
But is that common where you'll show up a couple of days before the tour starts just to rehearse and do everything?
Oh, we
Yeah.
were 6 days of rehearsal
Yeah.
before we went.
Were you really?
Yeah.
6 days?
6 days, yes, sir.
That
Yeah.
seems like a lot.
Yeah. So actually
And
we
then
had.
before that, we were pre-production where
Yeah.
we were doing all the playback for a month. So
Yeah.
it's been a long runway of leading
Exactly.
up to these. So these 3 shows have not felt like 3 shows.
It felt like 9, really.
It's really been a month.
I hope they've been really perfect if we've been practicing that
they've
long.
been
Yeah.
a blast.
We don't make any mistakes.
I think
Zero.
the whole fun of it is you work really hard and then you get to the tour and you got to let go and have fun.
Right.
That's
And are
our-
we doing that though?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 How? Okay.
Wow!
Hey, Will,
First strike.
Just real quick. The rules may have changed a little bit since the last time you did this. Just no F.
Oh, got it. Right.
No F, no S, and generally anything that starts with a C.
My favorite.
The-
Capybara?
Collagen?
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's
yeah.
good.
Coffee.
So
Yes.
just try to remember those
Thank you.
3 simple rules. You'll be good wherever you go.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
This is going to be a really hard challenge for us.
Yeah. And that was like when someone tells you not to think of a pink elephant.
Yes.
That's all I can do.
That's it, right? Then you know what? Drop the F-bomb all you want. Have at it. Knock yourself
We'll
out.
send you the bill.
Yeah, I almost said it again.
So anyway, back to the new music. I understand everybody effing loves it.
Oh, thank you.
But is it going over well?
I think so. Yeah. People have been really supportive and did all their homework and have been singing along with us. So
Were you nervous? So Nosebleeds is a little bit different.
Yes.
I think we would all agree from past records, right?
correct. Yes.
Were you nervous when you set out to do it of what reception would be?
100%. Yeah. But you just had to let go because you can't please everybody or live for other people's expectations. And the sound and everything we wrote and created felt so right that I didn't want to do a disservice to what my experience was by, being fearful that maybe it's so radically different from things we've done in the past.
True or false? You actually wrote a record that you ended up throwing out in order to do
True.
Nosebleeds.
True.
Very true. Yes. Still great music. I was like, no, I gotta get deeper into where I'm at.
So what flipped the switch? Like, at what point were you Did you like the other stuff? Let me start there. Like the stuff that you didn't get used. You really liked it.
Still really fun and poppy and like very true to the classic MisterWives sound we've had for 10 years. But I think being at that crossroads of we've been a band for 10 years, like let's take some risks and do things that are different and not feel like locked into, one narrative.
Was everybody on board?
Yes.
Yes. Affirmative.
But was anybody like, whoa, I don't know, like maybe we're messing up the recipe
Absolutely
at all?
not. No. I thought every time I would hear the new music, and it obviously has a lot more aggression to it.
Careful
I was like,
what words you choose, Will.
I'm moving
Careful
really
Okay, but for Will, that makes total sense. Like you're a total Lamb of God guy.
Yes.
You're a
Primus,
total Slayer guy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so you were like, let's step it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Like, let's go. The harder, the better.
It's funny when Mandy sent over Dagger, I was listening to Lamb of God, and then I played the song, and I was like, what happened to my shuffle? And then I realized that like the intro was the intro to Dagger.
Right.
I was like, this is awesome. And then proceeded to send an expletive-filled text message in wild support of the aggression.
So, but once what happened to the old music, that the fake record that you wrote?
It's still there. I
don't know what do you call it? It's a real record.
Yeah.
There you go. B-sides. There you go. Nice work.
I like
work.
I like the fake record.
Well, I don't know what else to call it. I mean,
would
it's
love to
real,
call
but
it the
it's
fake record.
We should release a fake record.
Yeah.
Fake record.
It's still there. I definitely think at some point it might be fun to release it. It just wasn't fitting for like how everything we had gone through. I just didn't want to come out of the gates with something that was like sugarcoating what our experience was.
So what was the moment after the fake record gets written where you were like, nope, can't do it, won't do it?
I guess when we did Out of Your Mind, huh?
Yeah, I remember you sending that. If anyone was hesitant, it was Mandy. She was like, "Is this too much?"
Oh, I for sure
And
thought it was too insane.
we were all like, "No, this is awesome."
I thought I was out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I was just, rage is a funny emotion that I think we're taught is negative,
Right.
And I guess the turning point for me was starting therapy and realizing those emotions aren't negative and they're not bad, and letting them come to the surface actually helps you heal through them better than suppressing it. So.
Right. And is that if you don't mind me asking, is that like a recent thing?
Yes, this past year. I feel very lucky that I was able to start. I wish everybody was able to have therapy because it's definitely been a game changer for me.
Right. And is the whole band like I no.
Should. The whole band should be in there.
The reason I ask is I can't remember who it was. Oh, who was it? Who was the Head and the Heart?
Oh, they're awesome.
Had told us that they essentially got a therapist for the band.
That makes sense.
Where the band used the therapist so that if there was something, obviously everybody's got their own crap, but if there was something where it was like, well, there's a bit of a where we could all.
That gets said a lot.
We could all
stop cursing.
But we would all be able to sit down and have that, and there would be, I don't want to call it a referee and diminish what that role is, but that there would be somebody that would be along and be able to go like, nah, you know what, like for whatever buttons or whatever it is, would be able to kind of work their way through it.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, we're lucky that we get along to the extent that we do, but at the end of the day, it is still a relationship and a family, and I think all of those relationships benefit having therapy. So, yeah, we'll do it after this. You've inspired us. We'll do it right here live on the radio with Elliot.
I would love nothing more.
You would.
I would love nothing more than to start digging into that. But now, Etienne, question for you.
Therapy Tuesdays.
Oh, man.
Didn't you want to redo a version of Out of Your Mind though?
No, actually, Mandy wanted to redo a version that was different, and I was like, no.
Oh, really?
No. I just thought it was so different and unique, especially for our band. It goes into so many like unexpected places, and I was like, this is it. This is gonna, make people want to listen more and go like, what is the record gonna sound like? It was kind of like, to me, the perfect way to kick it off as a sort of like mysterious track. But obviously that was the most like end of one spectrum on the record. And some of the other stuff like Nosebleeds or Sideways or Ultraviolet is still like, there's still something for everybody, but
sure. Oh, 100%.
But I love that version.
No, you helped me when I was
Yeah.
doubting myself to be a
Yeah.
pillar of like, no, trust your instincts, trust your gut.
Yeah.
You mentioned like rage being a good thing when you did. No. But when you
Don't quote me on that.
when you did the video for it,
Oh, yeah, that was the best. Yeah.
how much fun was it to just bash that crap up?
The funnest experience, none of it was acting. None of it was acting whatsoever. My therapist actually asked me, like, how do you handle your rage? And I was like, watch this video.
They're called
This
rage.
right here was my outlet to just let it all out.
So bashing up that computer and
Yeah.
that keyboard
Yeah.
felt great.
Yeah, all the things I had gone through came out in that keyboard. And then we had a really fun
the
single
rage
release party for it where we
Yeah.
invited fans to come to a rage room where we set up each rage room like the music video and everyone got to partake in the process. And it was...
It was
a
fun
wild
to see
time.
people let out their rage. Some people transform.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm looking at one of them right now. Little bit. Let me ask you this though. You mentioned the band had gone through a whole lot
Yeah.
over that period.
Yeah.
Was there any point, and I'll ask you specifically, man, that you thought we're not doing this anymore?
Yeah.
Did you
100%.
really?
Yeah. Not us as a band, just personally myself. It just felt like there was too many punches where it makes you lose sight of like, how do I possibly pick up the pieces and keep moving forward? Because we've been in this spot so many times, and I think it just hitting right when COVID happened and we were dropped in a pretty like not the best way, and a bandmate leaving all at the same time, and everything just felt like it was falling apart, and my mental health was really struggling, and it just felt like, how did this thing that was so pure get so tainted?
Yeah.
And the music is really what got me out of that. Like,
Right.
Before that moment, I had written that whole other album, and it was when we started working on this record that I just started to get back to why I needed music in the first place for survival, and it really brought us together as a band and was just a very cathartic process.
If you had told the rest of the band that you weren't sure you were going to make it?
Yeah, we openly talked about, like, what do we do? How do we...
Okay, so
It was
stop for
never-
a second.
yeah.
Let's pretend Mandy's not in the room for a second.
Yeah. Easy. Who's man?
Mandy who?
Would the four of you been like, we're staying together and we'll just go plug in a fifth, or you know what?
No.
At this point, we don't even need a fifth.
No, yeah. I mean, we talk about that even now, like, pretty much every morning. No, it's definitely a family. It's definitely a unit. You know, we can't. It was hard enough, I think, losing one person and then deciding like how do we move forward. But we navigated through that with ease, really. No, I mean that was very difficult to navigate. So it was like that. That was a big part. And I always thought like if one person left, we would fall apart. But it really did bring us closer together. But no, I mean if Mandy left,
Yeah.
like. You know,
There's not that many Mandys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need
They're good.
we need to hold on to that one.
yeah,
hard to find.
Yeah, it's not even really an option.
Hey, what was the you said that you got dropped in a bad way. You're talking about from a record label?
Yeah, yes.
You could
From
call him
a
that.
mysterious label.
The
We can't seem to remember.
Yeah.
but what was nasty about it?
I think, and I want to be careful here. How I
Don't be
talk about
careful.
this.
Don't be careful.
I'll talk about it if you want.
Yeah, I think it was.
Mandy, why don't you hush for 1 second?
Yeah.
Will.
No, I think it's
I got this.
okay if you'd like.
I got this.
All right, back to
One
Mandy.
second.
Circle back.
Just
Will,
because
hush for a second.
Just because so much of it was personal,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I really worked so hard at pushing Super Bloom during the pandemic where it was impossible to, tour, and we made this live stream, and we just, like, pushed this music as much as we could, connected to fans as much as we could, and it all did relatively well, and I think what sucked was being told by the top that you're the reason this album didn't do well. Not because we went through a global
You specifically?
pandemic. Yeah.
You, Mandy, are
yes.
the reason that the record didn't
Me,
do
Mandy,
well.
that I didn't exploit me
Yeah.
and ATN's divorce, and
Right.
because we were very.
No, I know, Will. I know. I was not bringing it up.
I know.
But Will shoots me a look like, right? Yeah. I know. It's awkward for me too.
Well, you were on on the phone when that happened, and
You were on the
everyone-
phone when they got divorced?
I was like, what's going on here? Why am I even a part of this?
Oh, that's what we should have done in here.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're on the phone with the head of the record label. Will, for whatever reason, is on the phone.
I just lingered.
Just picked up and was like,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
It's old school. We all have
Right.
landlines, and I'm
Yeah.
on the one in my bedroom. I don't know why. So, but he blamed you specifically?
Yeah, it was you weren't willing to sell your story enough. Even
Oh,
though
that's
I
right.
did.
That's where we were. We
Even
were back
though
to
I
the
did,
door.
Yeah. I
With
did
Etienne.
totally countless interviews about everything of what the record was, and it wasn't ever like me and Nate never became like there was no animosity, you know, in the band and what we did. We wanted to keep it where we were still friends and figuring out how to do that. And because I wasn't like making clickbait, you know, headlines on interviews.
So just because you
or
weren't like,
TikTok.
oh, Etienne's a dick, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hate
because
him,
I've
and the
never
whole
felt
thing.
that way about Etienne, despite everything we've gone through. Like we've remained.
Just to be clear, I did say all of those things, and it didn't even seem to happen. Like, I tried to stoke the fires, and that wasn't appreciated.
So at that point, you
Yeah.
were like, well, I mean, that's the most ridiculous. I'm sorry
Totally.
that I'm not going to bash my bandmate.
And I just would have much preferred, like, hey, you know what? We signed you at a time where, like, we had all this promise, and then a pandemic hit, and now we don't have the resources to fulfill our end of the deal for the next record. And I would have just appreciated that honesty versus being like, you're the reason why this didn't succeed, even though, like, you can look at the track record of how.
But I was going to
hard
say,
we worked.
for
Yeah.
MisterWives, I feel like Super Bloom connected so
Yeah,
well.
absolutely,
It did.
yeah.
It meant
Thank you.
so much to so many
Thanks.
people.
And that's what matters. At the end of the day, I'm never going to care about what, you know, a record label tells me, whether or not it succeeded. If people connect to it, that to me is the measure of success. So,
Right. And I even mean from a deeper level than like, oh, you know, we downloaded the record and we
Yeah.
could go see it on tour. But it just like from just reading what fans say and talking to people, they'll go like that record had such a deep connection that it was even more than just like, oh, I like listening to it.
Yeah.
Like it was very impactful for a lot of people.
Thank you very much.
AOC said she really liked
That
it.
is, yeah.
Which is a fact. So, that's pretty sick.
Can since Will brought it up,
What, AOC?
Is this hard or no? Like, was it hard? Was it hard like when it happened?
Oh, of course it
yeah.
was hard when it happened. I'm not going to belittle our experience. It was pretty devastating, but now it's like I can't imagine not being where we are. Like, I don't know, we're family through and
Right.
through, no matter what.
And we're bandmates before
Yes, totally.
married. Why am I afraid to say the word?
It's okay, don't be afraid. We're,
No, but
we're
I,
so good.
I know you guys
There's
know.
only
But
three words you can't say, apparently. And the M one is not one of them.
Yeah. The M word is the most offensive.
no, but I give you credit because
you.
I would have been like I'm a very
Yeah.
petty person.
Okay.
No, but I know that about myself. Like I'm not
Yeah.
even friends with like old like ex-girlfriends.
Yeah,
Like I would
yeah.
never be able to go through that and come out on the other side and go forget work together, just even want success for one
Yeah.
another. I would never be able to do that.
I hear that.
Yeah. No,
It's
I'm
not for everyone. I will say what we've done is definitely not
Yeah.
something I think everyone can do, but I think that's a testament to like the love we share as friends, which is where it all started, that we do want
Yeah.
success for each other. We do want to still keep this going, and we're just very familial. Also, to add to it, like our siblings are, this is a crazy one.
This is
My
a fun
sister
fact.
is married to Etienne's brother.
This is also true. And they just had a
Just
little.
to throw one more curveball,
And they just had a baby.
And they just had a little baby.
Shout out Margo.
So
And one day, yeah.
I'm Uncle 8. This is Auntie Mandy over here. And
So the family
I
function.
don't even know what the relationship
Yeah.
is to the kids anymore.
Yes, I know.
we don't know what's happening.
I
Wait a
think
minute. So
this-
your sister
Yeah.
marries Etienne's
Yep.
brother,
Yep.
and they just had a kid. Well, you're not
Yeah.
even. Yeah, I guess you are an aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm an aunt. No, for sure.
But the divorce thing messes me up. I don't know what anybody is.
We're same. One day we'll have to explain this to poor Margot, and she's going to be very confused.
She's going to be like, they used to be married?
Somehow it all works.
Who was married first? You guys or the siblings? You guys
were,
were.
yeah.
Whew, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Does anyone else want to want to talk about the relationship problems?
I
I'm
will
just
say,
thinking the last record label were like, why wasn't
I
this
know,
happening?
they're
2
like,
years
this
ago?
Exactly. I
Yeah.
could have saved you from getting dropped.
Just done this show.
Send them the interview. This is all they wanted.
There's not
was
enough.
it.
There's not enough drama. There's nothing
Yeah.
that like wild or exciting to talk about. It was just us wanting each other to be happy,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it.
I will say this though. I mean, like, you know, communication is such a prevalent role in keeping this together, and I think during that time, obviously, there's a large amount of uncertainty for all of us who are kind of standing on the sidelines, who are not immediately a part of your relationship, and you guys both handled it with grace in terms of like informing us of your intentions, and at no point was it ever like the band's going to fall apart because of this. I think
So you had
instead-
no
Yeah.
concern that would ever be.
no,
No, the
because
band got harder when all the other stuff happened.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
the divorce was the easiest.
Oh, thank God for the divorce. It just got so much easier.
really
It
kept
did, it
everything
did,
together.
yeah.
You know, that was fine.
All right. At some point, I feel like I was talking about the record.
For the record,
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We're going to perform. Yes.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right. So we'll take a quick break. We'll perform. We'll get into some more. MisterWives is with us tonight at the Anthem with Bishop Briggs. Nosebleeds is out and available now. Take a quick break. More with MisterWives next.
Elliot in the morning.
It's Elliot in the morning. MisterWives is with us. They will be at the Anthem tonight with Bishop Briggs. All right. What are we, Mandy? What are we going to? What are we going to play first?
We're going to play a little number called Out of Your Mind.
All right. Whenever you are ready.
Thank you very much. You got a mouthful of white lies, tie it up with a bow so it looks nice. You're looking it really similar to the last guy. I watch the tally going up and I'm so tired. Use me up till you had enough, and it never stops. I got all this salt in the cut. Stab my back and twist it twice, like that first time. I'll survive, but on your hands it isn't mine. If you think I'll lay down and die, you're out of your goddamn mind. Do you only talk to hear your own voice? Eyes rolling out my head from all the white noise. You made your bed and not lying, and that was your choice. So why's my name still in your mouth as if I'm good to paranoia? Use me up till you had enough, and it never stops. I got all this out in the car. You stab my back and twist it twice, like that first time. I'll survive, but on your hands it isn't mine. If you think I'll lay down and die, you're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your goddamn Use me up, and it never stops. Use me up, and it never stops. I got all this out in the car. Stab my back and twist it twice, like that first time. I'll survive, but on your hands it isn't mine. If you think I'll lay down and die, you're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your goddamn mind. Out of your goddamn mind. Woo!
MisterWives is with us. Very nice. That's awesome.
very much.
Very good. Very good. And like you said, going over great in, I would imagine going over very well live in the
yeah, it's a
live
fun
shows.
one.
Yeah, no, I bet.
The kids really open up the pit on that one, as they say.
And then we mentioned the video to it, but I wanted to ask you, are doing videos, because you do a ton of videos. Is that really important to you?
Absolutely, yeah.
For what? Because there's some that'll go like, you don't really need them. They need to exist, but they're not that important.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel that way for you.
That happens. I'm told that, and then I make a video with no budget. And thanks to my boyfriend in there, Maddie Vogel, who has been our creative. Yeah, that's right.
And boy, did it just get really awkward.
It's not awkward at all.
Oh, it is.
I'm very
Don't feed Will.
But
So wait,
yes.
what is his name? What is his name?
Maddie Vogel.
So Maddie,
Yes.
you're the one that made her sit on the ledge of the
Yes.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
true.
That's I have a problem with Maddie.
I do too.
Do you? You did it, okay? No. So that's the video. That's the video for Ultraviolet.
Yeah,
right.
it is the album artwork.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful song, by
Thank
the way.
you very
Beautiful
much.
song.
Thank you.
The and so there at first a picture comes out and it's you with arrows in your back.
Yeah.
And which I don't know how you did that. That's okay. It's probably
Will did it.
Oh,
It's
there
all
we go.
real. I do all my own stunts.
Yeah.
the
Archery.
but you're sitting on the edge of a building.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you are, but you're on the ledge of a building and you're just sitting on the edge. I have a heights thing, so maybe it bothers me a little bit more.
I do too.
Here's the thing.
You really got to face your fears in music. You know?
All of that could have been photoshopped. There was no reason for
Thank
you
you,
to
Will.
sit on the
Thank
edge
you.
of a building.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
What about that, Maddie?
Yeah.
Where were you thinking about that?
It was exposure therapy. It was.
Wait, so you also have a how tall was the building?
Downtown LA.
Empire State
Yeah.
Building.
Yeah, okay.
Huge, man. Huge.
No, I'm assuming it was multi-stories high.
Yeah, it was a tall building.
Right.
Yeah,
And you just sat down on the edge.
I sure did.
Right. And now it's a still photo that you see, but also if you go watch the video, you could tell that like you're sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So not only you have this fear thing with heights,
Yeah.
but while you're sitting on the edge of a building in LA, it could have been a gust coming through or something. Maddie has to go down the block and set his camera up to be able to shoot the video.
Very twisted. It's all twisted.
Zero chance.
Yeah.
Zero chance.
It wasn't that crazy. He was on a lower ledge of the building. There was like tiers to it, where I was on the highest point and he was on a lower part of the building.
Oh, how sweet that
yeah.
you were closer to the ground. That's sweet. Couldn't have filmed it the other way.
Wow. A lot of questions.
But do you really have a fear of heights?
Oh, for sure. I have a
Weren't you
fear of
crapping
performing.
yourself?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yes, I have.
You have a
awful
fear of
stage
performing.
fright. Yes, I'm like shaking right now from what we just did. Yeah, I have really bad stage fright, but I think
For 3 people?
that's well, on the radio, no pressure.
Wait, so how do you have a fear of performing?
I've always been this way since I was a kid. I'll never forget my first talent show when I was in kindergarten. I sang Respect by Aretha Franklin, practice in my room with a boa hairbrush, and then it got time to audition, and I couldn't do it. And somehow they let me in the talent show, which is crazy because I didn't sing a note, and they were just like, "Oh, she's crying. It's cute." I was like hysterically crying, and I did the thing from Big Daddy with the sunglasses to like conquer my fear of no one being in the room.
And what grade were you in?
Kindergarten. I was 5. Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah.
And you were belting out Respect?
Yeah.
And there's a
I
video
had a
of
lot
it.
of nerves.
Is there really?
And it's amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
And so did they think like, it'll be fun. Watch what we'll do to Mandy.
Yes.
There's nobody here for the audition and she's crying like a baby.
Yeah.
Wait till we put students in here.
I know. I was like, what teacher was like, this is a good idea. This kid clearly can't handle it.
So did you cry when you went to the real, you're a kindergartner,
No.
but in the real show?
No, real show. Something happens
Slated.
when you're on stage that is the closest thing to like a religious experience I've ever had of just the power of like music and the energy in the room takes over where you're able to push through, but I'm scared the whole time.
So
Totally.
before you, like at the anthem tonight,
Yeah.
right? When you, before the show starts,
Yeah.
you'll be like, there's healthy nervous,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
but you'll be like nervous.
Oh, for sure. I've been trying this thing out where supposedly nerves and excitement are the same feeling in your body. It's just like a mental switch that you have to do. I've not mastered it.
I was going to say,
yet.
how's that working?
Not working, but I keep telling myself it, and I hope to master it one day. But I think nerves are because I really, really care, and I want everyone to have an amazing time, and I want the show to be worth them
Sure.
coming out,
But then as soon as you get on stage,
Yeah.
nobody would know
Thank you.
that you're nervous.
Thanks.
So it just takes over in a way.
You kind of black out. It's just like a roller coaster, you know, the feeling of like you're screaming and it's fun, but it's terrifying and it's fun again, and then it's scary. That's the whole show for me.
Is it easier? Is it easier? I'm sure, like all bands, right?
Yeah.
Like when you guys first started out a decade ago, you would show up at some rooms and it would be. What's the polite word? Lightly attended.
Empty.
That's also a word.
Yeah.
Was it harder than it is? And obviously, there's been 10 years of experience of doing it. But is it harder? Like, I would think in a big room, you would almost feel like you could get lost a little bit.
Yeah, the big rooms are crazy where there's less of a connection. There's such a, like when we've had the privilege of opening for big bands and arenas and stuff, it's almost less nerve-wracking because you're just in your own little, like, we're just rehearsing and you can't see anything else.
Right.
So that kind of helps. It's the ones where you can, like, see everyone and it's far more personal. But I get nervous whether it's 3 people or 3,000 people, but, you know, I don't know.
But also, like, opening, you're like, F it. They're here to see Panic at the Disco. Who cares?
Yeah.
They're in hot dogs. You're like in an arena and people have like a big Coke and a hot dog. You're like,
That was always funny, where you're like, I'm interrupting someone's dinner right now.
So music and singing has always been you.
Yeah, and writing, yeah.
So you go through singing in kindergarten, but weren't you going down like a theater road, like Broadway road?
Yeah. Yes, you did your homework.
you know a lot.
Yeah, I know. I'm so impressed. I grew up in New York, and I went to this school called LaGuardia, which is a performing arts school, and like you have to
Isn't
learn.
that the Fame School?
Yes, the Fame School.
there you go.
And it was very much that experience. Of,
Was
like,
it really?
Everyone's dancing and singing in the hallways.
Oh God,
Yeah,
it would drive me
was-
nuts.
I was so shy. Like, I didn't sing in anything. I was a
Are you
total
serious?
wallflower. I don't think people even knew I like
I
sang.
was just saying, were people like, why is this chick even here?
Yeah, but I just wanted, like, I felt like so everybody else was so much more advanced. Kids were like in that school who grew up on Broadway and like were in TV shows, and it was a nice time to really learn. Okay, what are people actually doing versus I just grew up loving to sing, and then you learn all the technicalities of how to do it properly.
And but you were going the whole musical theater road.
Yeah, I auditioned for like Spring Awakening and got a call back, and I remember at that time I found a piano in a thrift store, a winter piano, and it was $300, and I saved up all my money to buy that piano, and then I realized, oh, okay, I love singing, but I really love writing far more than...
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love Broadway would be amazing to do at some point in my life, but that was the switch, finding that piano and then just teaching myself, and I completely fell in love with it, and at the time was listening to like Regina Spektor and Feist and Damien Rice and like all those kinds of like very folk singer-songwriters that were super inspiring to me.
Did the writing part come naturally, or did you learn that in school?
I actually did take a songwriting class, Mr. Apostle, my junior year. It was a really small class of 10 people. And Ivan from Brass Tracks, this amazing band. It's been fun to see us all like come.
I was
to
just
our
going to
own.
say, like,
Yeah.
did anybody come through school with you and you look at them and you go like, not as good as me, but you're doing you're doing okay.
She says it all
Not
the
at
You're doing
all.
okay.
Oh no, Ivan is incredible. He writes for like Chance the Rapper. He's incredible. But it's been fun to see everybody do their own thing. But that class was just changed my life because everyone was in it together, where you were learning how to songwrite and put your feelings into words, into melody, and it was really like out of a movie, honestly, that class more than anything.
So getting that little piano, kind of changed
totally.
everything.
Yeah.
And then you were working as a bartender.
Yes.
And some Romeo walked into the bar.
Definitely didn't look at him that way when you were
No, keep going. I like this story.
ATN was such a clown when he sat at the bar.
What bar were you working at?
It was called Blossom. It's no longer there, but it was a vegan restaurant.
Oh,
And I was the
God.
bartender. Yeah, you love everything I have to say.
Yeah. You and I.
Theater school and vegan restaurant.
Yeah. It's
Welcome
my
to New
truth,
York,
sorry.
Yeah. I'm no Maddie, but we're all right. So you go into the vegan. You're vegan also?
Yeah.
I was.
I
At
just
the time.
put that
Don't-
together.
I was working at another vegan restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're like, this garbage isn't as good
Yeah.
as their garbage. I'll go in there.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Now, but you were already doing music
Yes.
and producing some music also?
Not as much production, but I was just trying to start a band. Basically, I was.
You were in a band. You were in Emily and Warren and the Betters.
Yeah.
Emily Warren is like one of the biggest songwriters now, and it was
Yeah,
very
I was
cool.
searching a lot,
Right.
and found myself in like 10 different bands. And then met Mandy, and then in the restaurant, and she was like, "Oh, I'm a singer," and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." And I was so curious what her music sounded like, so she actually wrote down her MySpace page.
Right.
And I remember driving home from the bar in the car and being like looking at it and being like, I know it's going to be good. I was like, I know this is going to be good. And I listened to 3 songs and I was like, okay, this is amazing. And then the next time I saw her, I was like, if you ever need a drummer for a gig,
Oh,
like,
really?
I was like,
Yeah.
please let me try. But she had a drummer who I was in drum school with, and he was awesome. So I was like, there's no way I'm getting this gig.
Right. And what happened to him? What happened
She
to
fired him and hired me.
There we go. There we go.
He's dead now.
And that's the version I tell.
And then where do the other people? Where does everybody else come in along the way?
This was all pretty much at the same time, which for the record, I wasn't working at the bar and I was like, I'm a singer. That's not what happened.
Oh, I was paraphrasing.
I was like, are you a singer? Are you a singer?
started talking about music and actually played me his music video.
did?
And then, yes,
No, now you're making my boy look bad again.
I
was like,
telling
check out the
truth
music
here.
video, you'd know he looks terrible.
I'm not sure how I got the gig.
His mom filmed it.
Yes, shout out Kime. And then asked me, he was like, "Oh, you're," and I was like, "Oh, I also am in music." And he was like, "Are you any good?" That's what he asked.
Fair question.
Okay.
I mean, you had already started playing her yours. I mean,
When you're like a dude and you're 23, you don't know what the hell is going on.
Definitely not Romeo.
I don't know what. Like, I don't know what's cool. I had a mushroom haircut.
He did have a bowl. He had a bowl cut, but at the same time, I had been jamming with Will and some friends, and I would just.
oh, so you two already knew each other.
It was literally all at the same time that
Oh,
we
wow.
all fell into each other's life very serendipitously.
Yeah.
And Mark and 8 had been playing in a band, the one I mentioned earlier. They were playing together.
And he was our bartender.
Yes.
At the vegan joint?
At a
At
different.
a true
An
bar.
Irish bar, right?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, don't knock the
you'll eat meat.
veganism, okay?
Wait, but you two aren't still vegans, are you?
I am.
Oh, God.
Well, that's your opinion.
And I had so much extra pizza brought in today.
Don't worry, we're pizzatarians.
There you go.
Yeah. We're vegan with the exception of pizza.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was asking you about sitting on the ledge with arrows in your back for Ultraviolet.
Yes.
But the song is I feel like is kind of, I don't want to say it's like old MisterWives. That sounds rude. I don't mean it that way.
That's not rude at all.
But it's not as aggressive. I think that's fair to say as the rest of the record. But it is the one song where if you take Super Bloom and the impact that had on people, on far beyond the level of just like, oh, it's a nice song. Isn't Ultraviolet kind of having the same response?
Yeah.
is in the
Absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of people
Live
cry
shot's a
Thank you.
real highlight.
while they're watching it. Like, the front row is like usually everyone's like tearing up, and I'm like, oh, that's very sad. But it's clear, like, you know,
like,
there's
what's
like,
that?
yeah,
I
I'm like,
don't
what's
cry.
going on? Is there a leak in the building? Huh? What's happening here? Yeah, I get this looked at.
I think as fun as the like aggressive side of this record has been, like making sure there was a softer side, because that's the balance of life. Like it can't all tilt one way.
Right. But was there an intention to set out and go, I need that kind of song on this record?
Oh, 100%.
Was it really?
Yeah. I knew that moment had to happen. Yeah.
Was the song very therapeutic for you? As much as it appears to be for everybody else?
Yeah, totally. It was definitely one of the most like honest and vulnerable songs I had ever written. And yeah, it's been amazing to see it connect with people. It's always scary when you're like, oh, is this too much what I'm saying? Am I opening up about things that maybe like you think you should keep close and they should stay as secrets? But I've found the more I open up, the more people are able to really connect to that truth and feel less alone in whatever their experience is.
Did you think 10 years ago when everybody got together
Yeah.
that it would be where it is now?
I don't mean to sound like cocky, but yes, like I don't have much like confidence, but for some reason this band felt very special, where it felt like this feels like it has the potential to be a legit band, you know. And outside of playing in our garage where we were playing in Astoria, like it just felt like the friendship, the camaraderie, the music, and then seeing what the crowd was having, even at our early shows. Like we always had a really amazing core group of people who supported and made the show so fun that it just made you like have big dreams about it.
That's awesome. No,
Yeah,
good for
thank
you.
you.
And that doesn't sound cocky
Yeah.
at all.
I'm not. It's weird to say because I struggle with so much self-doubt, but this is the one area where I've been like, no, I think this band has something that's...
Yeah, there was also no backup plan, so
Yeah,
it was like, we
Oh,
gotta
No,
yeah.
there's something to be said for
we
that.
gotta go.
Yeah,
Start on
no,
the
there
track.
is something to be said for that.
Yeah.
There is no plan B.
Yeah.
I mean, plan B is you're back
the
serving
vegan
drinks at
restaurant,
a
yeah.
vegan restaurant.
Yeah,
Which was nice, but...
Was it?
yeah.
Yeah. Don't burn any bridges. You never know when you're going to be back.
And Will, only because you brought it up, I have to know, when's the last time you cried?
After this,
Don't remember. Long
Sawdust in your eye.
time ago. I don't cry when I get
I've
sawdust
seen
in
you
my
cry
eye.
maybe once, but...
Oh, actually, last
Yeah.
time I was very upset was when we found out that, and it was a label that caused me. So when we first started, we were with this group, Photo Finish, and they were the label that signed us. They were our family,
Right.
And then right before we were about to play Lollapalooza, our manager sit us down and they go, "There's been shifts over at like the parent companies, and you know how all that is.
Yeah, right.
And so we'll no longer be working with Photo Finish." And I remember going out and when we finished playing Lollapalooza, which was the biggest festival for us at that time, like seeing these people who really did make our dreams come true and thinking like, oh, we're not going to be working with them. And that's when I shed a tear and then
One tear.
That was it. Just one.
A single tear.
and developed an
Hey, I gave him
extreme
everything
hatred
I
for the
had.
music industry.
There you go.
I was like, we don't trust them anymore. But full circle, you know, with this record, we're working with all of those people again.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
we're
good
back
for
within
you.
10 years later. which
Good for
is
you.
amazing.
Oh,
Thank
this
you.
is like everything comes around.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's like
exactly.
your sister and Etienne's
Yes,
brother.
exactly.
Oh my God, it's awesome. It's awesome. All right, what are we gonna play? What are we gonna play?
It only feels right to play Nosebleeds.
All right, very
The
good.
spirit of the album.
Yeah, I'll just stare at you guys.
You guys want to stay where you are?
Will is on lead vocal.
Yeah,
Also, you'll all have to forgive me. It's very early and I have a sore throat, so I'm sorry in advance.
crushing it.
We're 3 days into the tour.
I told you it was a month before the 3 days.
That's right,
It's
that's fair,
different. It's
that's
not
fair.
just 3 days.
That's fair.
Okay.
Ready?
Saw it all in a crystal ball. The wings were wide, but a narrow hall. His writing was always on the wall, but I look the other way. Sinking feeling inside my bones. Crowded room, but I'm all alone. It's my address, but it's not my home. So I look the other way. I'm up in the nosebleeds. I'm watching the show. I'm feeling some deja vu. Another episode. I'm up in the nosebleeds and down in the seats. I see 1,000 faces that look just like me. Wonder what it might be like just for one night. I didn't care what they all think. Wonder what it might be like just for one night. I didn't care what they all think. I didn't care what they all think. Just for one night, I didn't care what they all think. I was blind to the warning signs. Spilling blood, you were drinking wine. Conjure way to the finish line. Told me I was DOA. All the wreckage inside my head. Consequence of the words you said. It's 2020 in retrospect, so it turned the other way. I'm up in the nosebleeds. I'm watching the show. I'm feeling some deja vu. Another episode. I'm up in the nosebleeds and down in the seas. I see 1,000 faces that look just like me. Wonder what it might be like just for one night. I didn't care what they all think. Wonder what it somebody, trying to be somebody. Thought that I was different, just a carbon copy. Lost in the illusion, if I win and all I'm losing. Thought that I was different, that was a delusion. Wonder what it might be like, just for one night. I didn't care what they all think. Wonder what it might be like, just for one night. I didn't care what they all think. I'm up in the nosebleeds, I'm watching the show. I'm feeling some deja vu, another episode. I'm up in the nosebleeds and down in the seats. I see 1,000 faces that look just like me.
Mr. Wives is with us. They will be at the Anthem tonight with Bishop Briggs. Nosebleeds is out and available now. Thank you guys so much for getting up
Thank
and
you so
coming in.
much for having us.
Really,
You
really
guys are
appreciate
amazing.
it. Mr. Wives again tonight at the Anthem. Take a quick break. It's Elliot in the Morning.